already know what people are thinking. Duh, Mineta and Jiro can't possibly be siblings. I know, it seems impossible, but hear me out for a minute. But, hear me out for a few minutes. It's okay. Okay, first of all, I'd like to say this theory is not originally mine. And thanks to this video, I found a comment on this video. You should definitely check out this channel if you haven't already. It's a pretty good channel. And they actually show love towards Mineta, which I like because a lot of people hate him for some reason. And it doesn't make sense. I mean, it kind of does, but still. So if you want me to make a video on why people shouldn't hate Mineta, then let me know in the comments below. First of all, this comment made me think of it. And when I go about the profile picture, I'm using my alternate account. I'm not sharing what the name of it is, though. But first of all, I'm going to read this comment. It does make sense, as there are some scenes in the canon where they relate to each other. Like, for example, Mineta doesn't often do pervy stuff on Jiro, though he still does, but not very often. Also, we don't know who Mineta's parents are, so maybe he's adopted. And most of all, Jiro often punishes Mineta for his pervy actions, and also teases him as well. This is why the theory kind of makes sense. So I'm also going to show you guys this video, but you should definitely check out Toby's Town if you haven't already. It's pretty good. Show you this video. Okay, as you guys can see, this video created an AU where they are siblings. And I'm not going to spoil the description, even though the description does make sense. And so, I am going to explain a little more on why I think there is a huge possibility that it could be. First of all, that comment made a point that we don't know who Mineta's parents are. And I think he could possibly be adopted, which is a possibility, but at the same time, I think that they might even be biological siblings. Sure, they have a different last name, but still. So siblings can actually have different last names. Like, I had an older sister who died before she was born, and she had a different last name than me and my brother, and arguably even both of my parents. I'm not going to share her name, though. Or my parents, or my brother's name. So, yeah. Sorry, I was drinking some tea. But, anyway, first of all, they have similar hair colors. Not just in this. And like I was saying, not just in this. They actually do have similar hair colors in canon, I'm pretty sure. First off, shout out to this person that created this rap cipher. It actually slaps really, really hard. I really like this song. But as you can see, Jiro's hair color here. This is Jiro's hair color. I'm just using it as reference for the hair colors. Gotta watch the actual video. Shout out to Russian who created this. It's amazing. Gotta watch the actual video to see what it says. I'm just using it as reference for the hair colors to see how similar Jiro and Mineta's hair colors are. Or they might be slightly different, but I still think they're pretty similar. So first of all, here's Jiro's hair color. Thank God for timestamps. And here's Mineta's hair color. As you can see, it is kind of similar to Jiro's. Slightly different, obviously. His is a bit more purple than Jiro's is. But still, their hair color is pretty similar. So I do think it is possible for them to be siblings. And further into what this comment says, I have noticed that even though I've only watched one season of the show, or a couple full episodes of the second season, I think because I only recently got into it. The fact that he does not often do pervy stuff around Jiro. Well, I mean, he does a little bit, but not as very often. And although they said maybe he's adopted, I went a step further and suggested they may be biological siblings because their hair color similar. Their hair color is completely similar, and even though they do have different last names, like I said, siblings can have different last names from each other. And Jiro often does punish Mineta for his actions and teases him. So I completely agree with this comment. The fact that it actually makes sense, and people say the theory does not make sense. Okay, I know I said earlier I wasn't gonna spoil this. Yes, but I am gonna say if I agree with it or not. In this AU, Jiro's parents decided to go to an orphanage to just look at children. When Jiro was just around a month old, they found Mineta, a newborn baby. He was the son of a single mother who died at his birth, so they decided to adopt him. Then Jiro and Mineta grew up together, thinking of as close as biological siblings. I mean, they do kind of look alike, so maybe that's why Jiro's parents adopted him, because he looks like them. But he also becomes this. Honestly, I do kind of agree with this. Although I do think they are more of biological siblings. Because honestly, they do kind of act like that. Like, I know they're not exactly close, per se. They're not exactly close. But not all siblings are close. Because me and my brother aren't that close to each other. So honestly, I do completely agree with this comment that says, I do completely agree with this comment in this video that thinks that they could possibly be related. So I do honestly think it is very valid. And I completely agree with it. So anyway, that's the theory. And also for any people who've never watched MHA and don't know who the heck Mineta is, he's one of the characters that's more of a joke character, to be honest. He's not meant to be taken seriously. And people often do take his quirk as useless. But the thing is, he can do actually a lot of things with his quirk that makes it useful. And for people who have been living under a rock, joke, by the way, because not everyone knows what it means. But, just in case you haven't watched MHA and don't know what I mean by quirk, it's basically a power. But as I was saying, if you don't know who Mineta is, there are quite a few things that makes him as a character. Like, he's a pervert. He's small, and he looks and kind of acts like a child. And can you guess what he's afraid of? When I watched the first season, when I figured out what he's afraid of, in my opinion, I feel like he's afraid of almost everything. Like, literally in an episode I was watching, I'm not going to spoil it that much, but Sue, Deku, and Mineta all were trapped for some reason, and Mineta freaked out. While Sue and Deku were actually really calm. Which he had no reason to freak out, to be honest, because one, he had Sue and Deku by his side. Right? And two, he has his own quirk that can do a lot more things than people take it for. And honestly, the same goes for Jiro. She can also do a lot of things with her quirk. Even though it may be taken as useless at first. Or so that can honestly go for pretty much any quirk. Yeah, basically any quirk can be taken as useless, just like Mineta and Jiro's. And pretty much any, as I was saying, any quirk can be taken as useless, but then end up actually being very powerful, like Jiro and Mineta's quirks. The fact that they have similar hair colors, and Both have quirks that can be taken as useless but can actually do a lot of things. Coincidence? I highly doubt it. So, honestly, yeah, that's my theory. Maybe this will... Maybe it makes your fans that hate Mineta, they might watch the series and look at it through a new lens. Because I honestly do agree with this theory and think that they could possibly be siblings. So, yeah, I need to get back to the galaxy. Bye, everyone!